Good evening. Many of you must be knowing about what is debate because it's a very popular event in Tamil called Pattimandram. In English, it's usually called a debate, but normally it doesn't take place in this fashion. A recently concluded presidential debate in United States of America is an interesting example. Those debates are done among the supporters, but this is an effort which is done in the presence of a neutral audience because we don't know who is supporting whom. There is one group which is stating that the people who are more supportive for the improvement of school children are the parents. There is another group which is opposing that through argument. The people who are responsible for the progress and development of school children are only if a debate has to succeed, the most important vitamin required for the debate is applause. Or every one of you should have the largeness of the heart. The clapping is not going to cost anything, I want you to enjoy it. Now, you may ask me, why a debate in a school? Because in a debate, you argue. To argue, you must know a logical way. When you argue something in a logical manner, it would be very nice and convincing. All this congregation, unity, forming a community, calling yourself belonging to one school. You yourself sometimes call yourself as Sunbeam family, bringing out an identity. All this are for the sake of success, for you to evolve into a successful personality. Debating is the most powerful way for you to become a powerful person, a successful person. Anybody who debates well would be loved by all the people. It's a special skill. So now we have, as I told you, 2 teams, and each team has got 4 members. So this team, which is led by Hazeeb Ahmed of 12th Standard, you may stand up and receive the applause of the entire audience. He says that it's only parents, just parents, only parents, nothing but parents. He follows 3 people. This is Delin. So Delin of 11th Standard. Did you wish them? So the next participant from this group is Aparna. And then the last member of this team is Fazilath, Jahan. Now the teachers group, ably led by Merlin, Agnus of 12th Standard. Her team, the next person is Avinash, Krishna, 11, followed by Darsha of 11th Standard, and Hafsa, the last member, Hafsa Teharin. Each speaker would be given 6 minutes time. At the end of the 5th minute, I shall ring the first warning bell. And a little while later, as we go closer to the 6th minute, I shall ring the second bell. Mostly, you could wind up your speech. Okay, let's start the show. Everything lies in the hands of the people who are sitting opposite here. Thank you very much for understanding. I appreciate that. So let's begin this historic debate at the Vision Hall of Sunbeam by Hazeeb Ahmed, supporting the parents community.
Good afternoon, everyone. Picture this. A very young boy, no older than 10 years, rushes to catch his bus after a chaotic morning at home. He trips and falls near the bus and hears a cold voice. Go and die, but don't die in front of my bus, for I will be charged. Can you imagine the weight of those words on a 10-year-old? He finally makes it to school only to be punished for being late. Frustrated all day around, he throws his bag, and instead of being asked what's wrong, he is sent to the principal's office and hit with a stick. Now that boy is none other than our beloved chairman, sir, who still remembers that day vividly, even right now. So let me ask, where was the emotional guidance, the understanding? Where was that one person who would have looked at the boy and been like, what happened? What's wrong? What happened at home today? What do you need? Not one. This story tells us that though external figures like teachers may play a role, it is parents who consistently shape a child's resilience and the ability to rise above challenges. Ladies and gentlemen, dear Sunbeamians and honored judge, our team stands firmly in the favor of the motion that parents have more involvement in a child's advancement. When we say parents, we mean the pillars of emotional, moral, and practical support in a child's life. The ones that are present through the highs and the lows, through the thick and the thin, through the good times and the bad times, when you are a topper and when you're failing your classes. But to compare that to teachers, who play an important but a far more limited role, is not just unfair. Parents are there from birth to adulthood. Parents shape and guide their children through every stage of life. According to a 2023 study by the National Child Development Association, children spend 5,000 more hours with parents in their formative years than with teachers. 5,000 more hours. Now, I ask you, how can someone with less time, less context, and less emotional investment play a more important or a bigger role? Let's talk about mental health, the cornerstone of development. According to a 2022 UNICEF report, 82% of children turn to their parents first when facing emotional struggles. Parents know their children's personality, history, and triggers better than anyone and everyone. But sure, let's just all believe that somehow equations and essays are better at comforting children than the people who raised them. Here's another undeniable truth. They invest financially, practically, and emotionally. They make sure that their child has every opportunity they had at succeeding. As Dr. Sarah Coleman said in her 2021 study, a parent's, and I quote, "A parent's financial sacrifice often determines a child's educational trajectory more than any classroom interaction ever could." Do you see teachers contributing financially to your studies? Values are the compass of life, and parents are the ones who instill them. They teach us respect, kindness, and perseverance, not through lectures, but through daily examples. Another 2023 survey, this time by the Harvard Education Review, it was found that 73% of students credited their parents for their moral foundation. 73, compared to only 12% of students who credited their teachers. This gap speaks numbers. At the end of the day, this all comes down to one question. Who has more involvement in a child's advancement and development? The answer is obvious. Parents are the architects of advancement. Stand with us and recognize the unmatched role of parents in a child's advancement. Thank you.
Hazeeb has burnt it out. He's done a wonderful job. Give him a big hand. There are certain points he made, which I'm sure every one of you must have listened intently. He says, children spend 5,000 hours more with the parents than the teachers. He made one interesting observation. Parents are the ones who are financing the children's education. There is no doubt about that. Parents are the ones who brought us into this world. Parents are the ones who choose our school. If you are sitting here, it's because of your parents. So I don't think we can deny what Hazeeb says on that front. Meanwhile, there's one interesting person in India, Dr. APJ Abdul Kalam. Yeah, he has given equal importance to parents and teachers. He mentions his teacher Subramania Iyer and says he played a very big role in his life. At the same time, he mentions his father's sacrifices as something which is unequaled by anybody. So this is a very delicate topic that we are dealing with now. One cannot blindly say Hazeeb is wrong. And at the same time, one cannot blindly support Hazeeb either. So let's see what counter opponent team has from Merlin. Give a big hand.
A wonderful good evening to everyone from my side. Teachers are more important than parents in bringing up a child's life or career. After doing some digging, researching, and thinking and asking many people, I came to a conclusion. A teacher in a person's life has got much more importance than a parent can ever have. Now, before you all roll up your eyes and accuse me, hear me out. Teachers, in their own unique way, might just have a bigger impact on shaping us, our lives, than our parents ever could. Parents are busy teaching us basic life survivals. Don't touch the hot stuff, eat your vegetables, say thank you. But teachers teach us how to critically think, solve problems, and explore the world beyond our homes. And it's not just academics. Teachers are often the first people to push us out of our comfort zones. They encourage us to speak up in class, participate in activities, and take risks. They're the ones who spot the hidden talent. Hey, you're really good at this. Why not try it? They inspire us to dream bigger and aim higher. Sometimes even when we don't believe in ourselves. Hazeeb is here sitting with us today because some teacher, someone who might be sitting amidst the audience today with us, found his true potential and thought, Hazeeb, you're really good at this. What I want you to do is to perform the same thing in tomorrow's assembly. Am I right, sir? Sir? Am I right, sir?
Very well.
And boom, today we have Hazeeb the Great sitting with us. And of course, parents think they play the biggest role in shaping their kids. But let's not ignore the fact that the teachers are the ones who spend countless hours molding their minds, refining their behavior, and preparing them for a real world, while parents often outsource that responsibility to school. Do you know how many hours an average child spends in school? Roughly 15,000 hours. By the time they graduate, then 15,000 hours under the guidance of teachers. How many of you have had a teacher who believed in you when no one else did? The teacher who said, you're better than this, you've got potential. See, a parent might say, I love you every night. But the teachers say, please pay attention, look into the board 1,000 times a day. Well, parents provide love, care, and foundation. Teachers go beyond and mold, refine children, equipping them for the world. Think of Abdul Kalam, as Sir already mentioned. His teacher, Sivacoumar Iyer, didn't just teach him science, but inspired him to dream beyond his circumstance. Chanakya just guided Chandragupta Maurya, the conqueror of vast empire. He molded him into a leader whose vision changed history. Even today, like MS Dhoni, credit their coaches for recognizing and nurturing their unique potential. Following this, a survey was taken from our people from our school, both the sides of teachers and non-teaching staffs, and it was found that 8 out of 10 parents agree and acknowledge that teachers play a more significant role than the parents do. Many parents express that they don't spend as much time with their children as they would like and feel reassured knowing that children are in good hands of their teachers. Teachers have a profound ability to shape minds. As Shah Jabin ma'am said, humorously pointed out, parents often struggle to manage 2 or 3 children at home and yet handle filled with diverse personalities. We have Onion, we have Ambi, we have Remo, and 30 much more personalities like that. And Lalit ma'am shares real-life anecdotes that reflect the trust parents place in teachers. One parent came to her and she admitted fully relying for her guidance, saying, "Ma'am, I'm from an engineering field and I know nothing about commerce. So I'm completely leaving my child in your hands." This demonstrates how teachers fill the gaps parents cannot. I would like to conclude with a quote. Parents show us the way, but the teachers direct us towards our destination. Thank you.
So this is exactly how the debate should evolve. Because when Hazeeb spoke, I was very impressed. You all were also. But when he was countered by Merlin, now there is a very strong wave in favor of Merlin's side. That was acknowledged by the applause that you all gave Merlin. I could see that. This is quite characteristic of a healthy debate. Certain things that Merlin said, nobody can deny. In fact, Vivekananda is well known to all of you. His speech 150 years back in the Chicago Congress, calling all the dignitaries who had gathered in USA as the brothers and sisters of America, worshipped as one of the best spiritual speeches. And that Vivekananda attributed everything to his guru, Swami Ramakrishna Paramahamsa. So in essence, what Merlin says is only that. She says, you may give birth, you may bring to school, you may provide. But then subsequently, that person who chisels, shapes, sharpens, and makes a human being is none other than our teachers. So she prides over the fact that the teachers are responsible for the progress of the school children much more than the parents. She mentioned Dhoni and got wonderful applause. She also mentioned the historical character Chanakya. It remains to be seen as to how Merlin is going to be countered by Fazilath Jahan of the parents group.
As Merlin said, parents teach how to tell thank you. Isn't it a kind of like they teach you manners, which in turn makes you develop, right? So, and then the second thing which I wanted to say is, she gave us statistics, which is that children stay in school more than 15,000 hours, which is, of course, fake. And she talked about Hazeeb, right? Like the next day, teachers would approach and tell, oh, come on the assembly and speak. But what if he would have done a blunder? Would teachers approach him? They would have just left, right? Unnoticed, of course. And when she spoke about like teachers believe more than what we do, take about the case of Cristiano Ronaldo. You know? His teacher didn't support him. Rather said he'll be unsuccessful in life. But his mother was the one who supported him throughout his life. Now, let's take a to scenario. Of course, teachers have a bunch of students to look at, right? You're not her headache, right? So she would just punish you, leave you embarrassed in front of the whole class, isn't it? But parents would make you sit, talk, counsel you, and make sure you don't repeat that mistake, which develops a holistic development of a child. Academic development isn't only a development which matters, right? There are many other aspects which you must look into. Of course, teachers will leave at one point of time, but parents would never leave you. Unlike teachers, parents would make you understand why your actions were not right and would give you emotional support. Rather than teachers pointing out your mistakes, not saying the reason why it is wrong, but the parents say why you have done it so. Next. Okay. It's simply not fair to just say that teachers play a more important role in your development. And any claims or arguments regarding this are false narratives and meaningless. Come on, I mean, it's a matter of fact that parents are the one who play a more important role in your development. Denying this fact will be like locking your common sense in a box and throwing away the key. Your parents are the one who are always with you on your heights or on your falls, every time supporting you, which encourages your development by yourself. Our team is not here to say that teachers don't play an important role. And I conclude by saying, a child's development can take place even without a teacher, but is difficult without a parent. Thank you.
So Fazilath has categorically said that it's impossible without a parent. It's just impossible, ruled out. She has been thundering loud with very valid arguments. She took Ronaldo as a support, the world famous Ronaldo, who said that he would be nothing without the mother. And she also said that parents would be counseling, talking, seasoning, pacifying, cajoling, converting, comforting, and soothing you. Teachers won't do that. She said the parents won't embarrass a child, whereas teachers will embarrass a child in the midst of others. So emotional support, according to Fazilath, is provided by the parents. Now let's see. It's building up excellently well. Fazilath also managed to win the hearts of lots of people in support of the parents. So all these hearts which are right now sitting in this visionary hall have been oscillating between the parents and the teachers because of the eloquence and the oratorical ability of these excellent speakers. Now let's see what Avinash Krishna has got to say in answer to Fazilath.
Well, good evening to the people who know me and to the people who don't know me. So, could the opponent team please look at the banner behind you? It is written, who plays more important role in the development of, I'm stressing this point, school children. We have taken the points, the statistics from school children, not full life as you have done. If you want proof, you can open the folder on your table where the statistics will be printed. And the fact that parents are the only ones financing your education, as mentioned by Hazeeb, the leader of the opposing team, is wholly wrong. A good teacher could lead to students being able to attempt scholarship exams, which will lead to them qualifying for better education, which will lead them to becoming successful. Talking about the fact that parents will never compare you, only support you, is wholly wrong. How many people have had their parents compare you? Well, opposing team, please look at the audience. Okay, so personally, my mom has compared me, I'm not going to lie. She has made fun of me, she has told about my marks. But of course, a teacher will try to make that comparison more powerful, and it will lead you to getting inspired. It will lead you to becoming more successful, more better. All right, in India, okay, teachers are catalysts for breaking socio-economic barriers. Teachers have been instrumental in guiding students towards opportunities that change their lives. Teachers in India play a vital role in connecting students to government and private programs like Inspire for young students, The IIT Madras online data science program. Anyone heard about it? No. Okay, so basically it's a program for data science where Sunbeam is a school partner, and you can get more information by asking your respective teachers, not your parents. Most parents don't know about this. Ask your teachers, school coordinators, they will tell more about this. Malala Yousafzai, the youngest Nobel Peace Prize winner, became the incredible advocate for girls' education because of the teachers who supported her. Her parents did not really have that much of an influence on her life. Okay, so beyond academics, teachers act as mentors and advocates. The Super 30 I mentioned while rebutting the opponent team's points, it is a program in Bihar where dedicated teachers don't get paid that much just for poor students, the underprivileged ones, to prepare them for IIT JEE, leading them to prestigious institutions and well-paying careers. So, I would like to end this by saying, let us celebrate teachers for the unique and critical role they play. Every student who rises above the circumstances, every community uplifted through education, every dream turned into reality is proof of the profound impact a teacher can have. A world-class education starts with a world-class teacher. Let's never forget that, and thank you.
Avinash Krishna has directly hit the nail on the head. He started with the beautiful happenings in the houses of most of the children where parents compare. It's a huge problem for the present day children. We also get a lot of complaints about that. He says categorically that teachers change the lives of children. I don't think anybody would deny that. Of course, you should remember the small kid biting the nail with a small trouser and a top, walking into the school. When you enter in KG, LKG, and as you finish your +2 and go out as a eligible youngster, just 1 year before, becoming eligible to vote, becoming a complete citizen of the country, the entire process of man-making mission is undertaken by the teacher, according to Avinash. He's asked a lot of interesting questions as to whether parents would be able to know about IITs and will they know the things that the teacher would know? Do you know that support offered to Malala, the Nobel Award winner, the fantastic girl? So he is saying ultimately world-class children can be made only by world-class teachers and not parents. It's a big hand to him. You can give a hand. At this juncture, I would also like to mention one interesting character who attributed all his glory in life to Ramakant Achrekar. I don't know whether anybody has heard this name. Many of you might not have. But if I tell the student's name, the teacher will go high up to the moon's level in your mind. He was the person who was the complete reason for the superstar Sachin Tendulkar. He was Sachin Tendulkar's teacher. So when Tendulkar became the highest century maker and the best cricketer of the world, and the entire world considered him as god of cricket, he told all his salutations will go to his guru, Achrekar. You can clap for the teacher. So Avinash did a good job. Now I must introduce Delin. To talk on behalf of the parents.
Avinash, if you may, would you please look at it again, the sign. Who plays the more important role in the development of school children? So, do you mean that parents gave birth and signed them off to schools? No, they're still children. They're still children. Okay, and if Avinash was so keen in listening, he wouldn't have missed this point that my teammate Fazilath told. She wasn't talking about comparison. She was only talking about embarrassment. Embarrassment on a third person, in front of a third person, not comparison. And also, schools these days Especially, they have holistic development, not just academics or anything else. Mental, emotional, many other things, not just academics. Got it? Okay. So, as Mahatma Gandhi rightfully said, there is no school like a decent home, and no teacher equal to a virtuous parent. So, parents, they're the first teachers in our lives. They teach us what to do, as Merlin from that team told. They teach us what to do, how to thank a person, how to ask sorry, and all of that. So, they're the first teachers and mentors for their children. They impact their child's holistic development, which include their physical, cognitive, moral, social, and emotional components. I'm just going to sum it up in just 3 R's. Number 1, parents are responsive. Since they know their children inside out, they identify their needs, skills, abilities, talents, and help channelize and nurture them. Number 2, parents are responsible. They're accountable for you. It is an intrinsic quality of parents, that is, the innate quality. It's their primary job to go out all lengths to provide the best for their children in all-round development. As my teammate Hazeeb rightfully said, it is a lifelong involvement and a lifelong investment. People, values cannot be taught in a moral instruction class. It can only be caught. Most children often learn from their parents, don't they? I mean, I do. So many of you do too. Number 3, parents are relentless. Parents never give up on their children. They may compare you, they may scold you, but they never give up on you. So, a classic example. But before that, I would like to also express my gratitude towards my mother. She was relentless in helping me understand the importance of debate. And honestly, I thought it was just another Nia Nana show. So, yeah. And I'm sure you guys have a lot of stories like that too. And a classic example I would like to point out is Thomas Alva Edison, as we're basking in his glory, right? The invention of the light bulb. And he was sent a letter, especially that it had to be given to his mother. In that letter, it contained these contents: that he was a hopeless child, he could never cope up with school, but his mother never mentioned any of this to him. She turned it completely positive and told that Thomas Alva's brilliance could never be understood in a school. And she turned him into the genius of this century. So, my dear friends, parents, by their constant presence, emotional connect, and leading by example, undoubtedly play the most important role in their child's development. Thank you.
So Dylan was very clear, very precise, and very appealing. I'm so happy that he gave such a beautiful speech. So comparison is better than embarrassment. He says the teachers would embarrass, just as I said. But parent will never embarrass the child. That is what he is saying. Strong arguments are coming forth. And these 3 R's, being responsive, responsible, and relentless, is a strong argument which I think the opponent will have to give a suitable answer for that. And this Thomas Alva Edison example is also a scintillating one. But the only thing is whether the fact that he was condemned by the teacher, thrown out of the school, considered useless, cannot be debated. Whatever Dylan told is 100% true. But still, the indefatigable spirit of Thomas Alva Edison could not be killed by the teacher because it was saved by the mother. So kudos to the mother of Thomas Alva Edison. So now we should see what answer lies in store. Who is the next speaker? Darsha is going to give the suitable answers.
Good afternoon, everyone. Firstly, as Dylan has said that comparing is not a part of embarrassment. Of course not. Comparing is embarrassing. Imagine being scolded about your marks every day, not only by your teachers but also by your parents. A home is where you have to feel comfortable. No one can't say that in your house your mom doesn't compare you to anyone else. Is there anyone's mom or dad who doesn't compare you at all? And the fact that new schools provide holistic development to students who are feeling inferior to their peers. And now, someone from the opposing team mentioned that parents are a lifelong material. Not necessarily, but learning is a lifelong journey. But the crucial years of learning is up to the age of 25. And in that 25 years, the contribution of teachers is much more than parents. If we take Cristiano Ronaldo's life, okay, his mom helped him for his career, but we are not saying that an exception should be made as an example. There is only one Cristiano Ronaldo. William Butler Yeats once said, education is not filling of a pail, but the lighting of a fire. The ones who ignite this fire are the true superheroes of our lives, our teachers. Teachers do more than just teach. They make sure that the information doesn't just sit there in our brains, but actually connect to things that we've already learned or that things we're going to be learning about. When support at home is limited, teachers often step in, acting as mentors, advocates, and even sometimes as cheerleaders. And now, most of you might be aware of this famous person who I'm going to be using as an example, Helen Keller, a famous writer who, in spite of being blind and deaf, went on to achieve so many wonderful things. The story of Helen Keller and her teacher, Anne Sullivan. Born in the 1800s, Helen has lost her both hearing and sight due to scarlet fever and meningitis. For years, her family, though loving, did not know how to help. But then, Anne Sullivan came into her life, who has already experienced partial blindness herself, knew how to relate and help Helen by creative methods. She started out by teaching her the basic alphabets, the ones ABCs we learn at the kindergarten, but Helen had to learn it when she was 8 or 9. Helen may have remained isolated. But thanks to Anne's dedication, Helen went on to graduate from college, become an advocate for people with disabilities, and inspire millions. With that being said, I'd like to conclude that parents often neglect students learning disabilities or in general do not know how to handle students with disabilities. But teachers in this case are trained professionals who can take care of students with disabilities. Thank you.
So there is a different logic in what Darsha is saying. See, for example, when you leave a child in the school for education, and let's say, for example, calculus comes as a chapter, will any parent be able to tackle it unless they are a professor? So there are so many areas connected to the progress and education of a child which is absolutely unconnected to parents. So the logic is, children are left at the hands of the teachers only because the parents cannot mend them. Parents cannot build them up. Parents cannot teach them. They don't know the subjects. They don't have to be educated enough to teach the subjects at all. So, with the story of Helen Keller and the teacher's role, and also with an emphatic statement that exceptions are not realities, it all went very well. I appreciate Darsha for her courageous speech. And now, the last speaker of the first group, who would be winding up the arguments of this team. Let's have Aparna, the parent side.
A very good evening to everyone present here. So, first of all, I would like to start my rebuttals with Avinash, He told that parents show us way, teachers show us direction. Unless you know the way, there is no point in knowing the direction. If you get to know the direction and without the way, you'll be lost. You'll be no signal, right? Without the way, how will you get to know the direction? Google Map, you're standing there without the way, your destination, that's all. You're lost again there. So I think, Avinash, think about that point more. And also, you asked that IIT program, will parents know that way good or not, right? Well, if parents doesn't pay you the fees for attending IIT classes, who would you go approach for getting the fees then? How would you attend your classes then? How would you grow in your life then? Just how, Avinash? Answer me. I know you won't. Parents teach you the basic ethics. And parents are the one who tells you, who starts you, who makes the life of you, who tells you more than anything. Your basic learning starts with parents. Well, our team again and again and again told that the third person we are being embarrassed with third person, but these guys, our team doesn't understand the difference between public and private, I think so. They are saying that embarrassment is only, we are getting embarrassed in front of the third person, but they never understood our point and keep on complaining it about us. Well, please look on to that point, guys. Okay, you told Kylian Mbappe is the next Ronaldo. What was that, Darsha? Talking about, in fact, we have Lionel Messi who's better than Ronaldo. He's the God, isn't he? Just accept, he's the aura, isn't he? Well, I would like to say a quote. Children are not things to be molded, but people to be unfolded. When we go to school, teachers say that you have to study this, do that, attend this, that, yeah. Isn't it? Accept it, guys. And if we go talk to our parents, they be like, they unfold us, they let us to tell us heart out, our feelings, our emotions and everything. So I like to tell you another important thing. The life of hostel students. Well, you know how many suicides happen hostel? According to a study by National Crime Records Bureau in India, students' suicide in the hostels are over 10,000. So because of hostel, you lost the emotional support within you, which is not at all good. Just imagine, you don't have an emotional support and parents are the one who gives you the emotional support. Well, I like to share out two statistics. According to the National Education Association 2023, students whose parents are actively involved in their education are 2 to 3 times more likely to graduate high school and attend college. Well, if parents are not in your life, you would never dare to enter into the school, you would never be able to pay the fees for the school, and you will be in your house playing video games or going out roaming on the streets. Well, parents put you financially inside this, and you have to understand the fact and accept the fact too. Well, let's be clear. You know, the study from the National Education Association in 2023 shows the students involved in parents are 2 to 3 times more likely to succeed academically. Who plays the more important role in developing school children? And I would like to tell the opposition team once again that development doesn't stop with academics, but it is more than sports, the thinking, cognitive thinking, and everything, your creativity, drawing, art, dancing, singing, and everything. And if you want to talk about who truly impacts children's outcomes, let's be honest, it's parents. The National PTA study in 2023 showed that parental involvement reduces behavioral problems by 50%. How much? 50%, guys, 50%. Note this point, not academic success. It's emotional well-being and positive social behavior, and teachers can't do that. It's all about parents who teach you basic ethics, knowledge, self-importance, respect, honesty, rules, regulations, and everything. With that, I'd like to conclude my debate saying that it's parents who teach you everything. Thank you, and have a great day.
That's an atom bomb. Congrats, Sunbeam. I never thought that there would be so much power and energy. I'm amazed. So Aparna was categorically clear that direction could be lent only by parents. She said again and again. And she went to all points which were argued by the opponents. And that's a very good way to wind up an argument. I congratulate you for that. Ronaldo was brought again. Embarrassment was talked again. Suicide in hostels because there are no parents is a very good example. Because she says emotional support cannot be given by teachers. I don't know what the opponent team is going to counter with. So she also says where there are parents, there the children study well. Where the parents are not present, where the parents don't support, studies suffer, according to her. In fact, she goes to some statistics. She says the children who are accompanied by parents study 2 to 3 times better. And parental involvement improves children by 50%, you guys. I mean, I could see that this noisy audience was thunderstruck by her, Aparna, and transformed into her fan and started applauding, listening to her, concentrating on her speech, and became spellbound. That's a very nice spell, a magic spell. I'm so happy for Sunbeam. Now let's see how our opponent team that's supporting the teachers is going to counter. The fourth and final speaker, Hafsa Teharin. Supporting the teachers.
Greetings, everyone. I've had this wonderful pleasure of debating this topic alongside my incredible teammates. Fazilath, my worthy opponent, told that we told a fake thing by telling that we approximately spend 15,000 hours in school throughout a year. I have actually done my calculations. We have 24 hours a day, in which 8 hours we spend in school. That is 8 into 6, 48 hours a week. And let me tell you, wait. 11,520 hours a year. That is actually approximately to 15,000 years. So I don't think it was a fake thing. And the point we can draw from these calculations is how much more time we spend in school than at home. If parents were more involved in a child's development, then why would children spend more hours in school than at home? This emphasizes the crucial impact teachers have on child's overall development. And coming up with a point that parents, they support you financially, they pay for you, of course, so they would. That's their job. But teachers, they don't have any relation with the student. They don't have to work hard for students to achieve scholarships, right? But they do that. That's where we have to focus, and that's more important. Teachers are the primary source of academic knowledge, intellectual development. While parents provide love and emotional support, it is teachers who nurture a child's cognitive abilities, introduce them to new subjects, and push them to explore ideas beyond their immediate surroundings. I would like to mention some real-world examples. All of you know me as a science and astronomy club president, right? And I would be proud to mention about one such brilliant scientist known as Stephen Hawking. He is well known for his theories like Big Bang Theory, but most of his achievements were not possible without a great mentor known as Dennis Sciama. Dennis Sciama just not provided or supported Hawking with intellectual development or knowledge, but also with emotional support. Teachers do provide an emotional support. Also, next, I would like to mention about one such sports person whom you are all aware of. Most of you are very big fan of, MS Dhoni. MS Dhoni's school teacher instilled discipline, hard work, and leadership, supporting his passion for sports in a society focused on academics. Coaches like Sushant Keshri and Kishore Prasad played a key role in the development, with Prasad spotting Dhoni's cricket talent early. And another thing, and an important thing that teachers do, and most of the parents fail, is that teachers recognize a student's potential. And that is why Stephen Hawking mentions in one of his quotes, if you look behind every exceptional person, there is an exceptional leader. Barack Obama, the first African American president of the United States, also said once, invest in our teachers and our child will succeed. Savita ma'am highlights the challenges of nuclear families that has become more popularized as of recent times, having working parents in the 21st century. Hence, since they are working, they pay very less attention to students, and teachers spend a lot of time with them, hence developing and guiding them throughout their lives. Also, parents may unintentionally burden children with expectations, wanting them to become doctor or engineers. Teachers offer encouragement without pressure. This was said by one of the teachers in Sunbeam. So, to conclude, even though parents provide with things we need for day-to-day life, teachers, when it comes to preparing us for the journey of life, are placed 0.0001% above parents. So yeah, we have come a long way to reaching the end of the debate session. Thank you so much for having me.
So, my dear children, I am put into a very tight spot because as I look at the way these people argue, like for example, Hafsa, the last person who advocated for the teachers, she started some arithmetic calculations about the number of hours spent in the school and spent in the house. And ultimately, she got some excellent results for supporting her side with some 11,500 hours extra with the teachers. You have to give a big hand. She also brought out another new dimension which was not dealt with by anybody else. She said the teachers are the only sources, reasons for making it possible for all the children who get scholarships from schools to make it. If not for good teachers, you won't get scholarships. That's what she said. At least the people who receive scholarships should clap for that, if not others. And the story of Stephen Hawking, I'm sure you all would be knowing about that man, a disfigured human being who is considered to be the most outstanding genius of the century. When this side says that the parents are giving emotional support, she's taking it as a beautiful point to combat that, because Stephen Hawking did not require a teacher to give him academic support. He was a genius. Some of you who do YouTubing can please look into Stephen Hawking today, and you will be amazed at the multi-dimensional capability. But she argues that emotional support was given by his teacher, Dennis. And then she goes on again to the coaches of MS Dhoni. One new thing is Barack Obama, who gave complete credit to his teachers. And then she also gave an additional strengthening to her argument that in this century, in this present times, parents don't have time to look after the children because most of them are working parents. Where do the parents come and sit with the children? It's only the teachers who offer encouragement. So there are several things. Some teachers are even safer than the parents, which goes as a great tribute to the teachers community. And by and large, this whole argument has taken a beautiful shape where it is quite challenging for anybody to judge based on the points brought out by the teams alone. Because I could see that almost every point brought out by one team has been combated by the other team. And I never thought that Sunbeam will have so many debaters. Interesting. But then I cannot keep on talking about all the points brought out by the team that supported the parents, because that's more than 25 in number. And this side has also got more than 25 main points. We have to take into consideration the time constraint. I'll give a conclusion. But then with all your support and applause and agreement, I think I would be able to give that decision. I am sure every one of you sitting here would be familiar with one name called Gugesh. Yeah. The same Gugesh who has conquered the world. At your age, maybe 1 year more, 2 years more, 3 years, he is 18 years old. But then to win over the Chinese champion Ding is no easy joke. That's what everybody felt. And as you all know, the competition also went only like that. It was swinging this side, it was swinging that side. At one point, most of the Indians who were interested in chess and closely observing the match gave up. They thought that Gugesh has lost. But I don't know whether many of you know that there is a very strong background behind the success of Gugesh. All right? How did he win? That's $1 million question. Many of us may not know that Gugesh was not able to sleep at all. Not even for a single minute, for 7 days. It was such a tense moment because it is world title. It is the most prestigious title because chess is connected to brain power. It is not muscle power. Brain power is superior in consideration and quality. 7 days he was not able to sleep, and so his brain got heated up. He was shaky and shivery. At that point, when he was suffering and struggling, he decided to meet one person, and that person's name is Mr. Paddy Upton. Paddy Upton is a South African, but he has got a beautiful history behind him. He was the cricket coach of the Indian team which won the 2011 World Cup. Because of him, India won the 2011 World Cup. And that was acknowledged by all the players of the Indian cricket team. Gugesh went and met Paddy Upton. He was there. He was watching. He was ready to support him. He met Paddy Upton and told him that he hasn't been able to sleep for the past 7 days. Paddy Upton had a session with him, just like your teachers. He had a session with him where he gave him ideas, ways and means and methods by which one can sleep well. He also gave him ideas how to keep the mind strong, steady, not fearing about the failure. And he also gave some more tips about how to destabilize Ding. So Ding came as a champion personality, but because of this teacher, Paddy Upton, and his ability, and his skill, and his acumen, and his superiority in the field of making a youngster, the youngest ever. Shouldn't we be so proud that he is from Tamil Nadu? The youngest ever world chess champion after 21 years of conquest made by Vishwanathan Anand, again by Tamil Nadu, from Tamil Nadu. One more gem on the throne of Tamil Nadu. One more feather on the cap of Mother India. One more man, a student, 18 years old. He has been made a world champion by none other than a coach, a teacher, a mentor. And so, I have no hesitation. With all your support, I come to the judgment. Parents are the ones who pave the way for a child to come to school. Parents are the authority. Parents are the basement. Parents are the solace. Parents remove embarrassment. Parents are the gift of God. But teachers play a better role in the progress of school children and in the process of making school children into champions. Thank you very much.